Hey guys, so last night was the night where we could see the Orionids meteor shower. Unfortunately, it was completely clouded over and we saw zero. So I'm at Speedway tonight, racing at Morris Speedway. And when the lights go down later tonight, I'm going to try and see if I can see the Orionids tonight. There's still a bit of cloud, but might be okay. So fingers crossed. And also fingers crossed I have a couple of wins. My last race I came fourth, and this one I'm starting on pole. So I'm going to go hard and try and beat those boys. I'll catch ya. So this is some vision from some of my speedway racing last night, and this is actually the feature race. We pick it up after a restart. So one of the drivers, he spun and hit the wall, so that caused a restart. We've already completed around 8 or 9 laps. And you can see I'm right behind my good mate Gary, and Gary had been beating me all night, and I was hoping that he would drift out a little bit here on this corner, which he does, and so I shot in on the inside and I kept holding that position, holding it, and we were doing a bit of door slamming, but I managed to keep pace and kept that inside line. I do lose it here a little bit, but managed to catch it just in time, and luckily Gary also went out a bit wide, so managed to let me keep that second position, but he's right there on my hammer. The division that I race in Speedway is street stock division, so it's a good division because we race both directions around the track, and we are limited to what we can do to the vehicle, so we can't do too much to the motor or change our tyres too much either. So it really means that we're all very equal, and it makes for very competitive racing. So I promise this channel isn't about racing cars, although this car I will be racing on the weekend around the streets of Joondalup. So Joondalup are going to be running their very first Joondalup Festival of Motorsport, and there'll be all sorts of things happening, the car racing, but also there'll be car displays, all sorts of things. So I'll leave a link in the description box below. I do a lot of racing. I love racing speedway particularly, and just getting into bitumen racing. This car is a BF Ford Falcon. It's got for any of the speed heads out there that want to know, it's got a Barra gas motor which has been converted to petrol. The gas motors apparently are really good for car racing. And yeah, this will be my first run in this car. So it'll be fun to drive around the streets of Joondalup, and I keep saying that I'm going to be doing a really quick shopping spree. Well, unfortunately I didn't end up seeing the Orionids meteor shower, so if you did get to see it, let me know in the comments. I'd love to know whether you saw quite a few, whether they were bright. Meteor showers, as I've said, are really fun. There is actually another meteor shower. If you missed the Orionids, there's another one coming up, and that's around the 21st, 22nd of November. Again, at that time, best from midnight until about 3 AM when the moon will be rising after that. So it's always good before the moon comes up. So 12 till 3 AM, that's another one you could look for. That's called the Eta Monocerotis. So moving on from cars, let's talk about the next stargazing forecast for you. And there's a really great lunar eclipse coming up on November the 8th, which will be beautiful. If you haven't seen a lunar eclipse, You must go out and see this. So on the 8th of November, it'll be really lovely because it'll be around about 7 p.m. It'll be rising. It'll be already into the eclipse as it rises here in the west. Now there'll be a group of us down at the Matilda Bay foreshore. Perth Observatory are hosting a big event there. We'll all have our telescopes there along the foreshore, so the general public are welcome to come along. And I'm going to have a go at live streaming that on my Facebook page. So if you can't come along, go to my Star Treks Outback Space Adventures Facebook page, and I'm going to do my best to try and capture it with a live stream. So a lunar eclipse happens when we have the sun, earth and the moon line up, and the moon is in the shadow of earth. I'll show you a bit of a diagram. I'll draw it down here on the floor. That's no good. You funny girl, come here. That's my stick, my pointing stick. Hang on a minute. Okay, car, good girl. Off you go. Off you go. No more. Here, I'll get you. All right. You want to play? Take it. Go get it. Here. No. Good girl. Okay, let's show you this diagram. Off you go. Nope. Off you go. So, we imagine. Okay, so here's the diagram. We have the sun out here, make it bigger, nice big sun, and then the orbit of the earth. This is the earth, and then the moon is sitting here. So when we have the earth, so when we have the, go on, off you go, off you go. So when we have the sun, earth and moon all in a line, that is when we get a lunar eclipse. So the light from the sun is coming out here, the earth is blocking that light, and the moon is in the shadow of the earth. And that's when we get that lovely lunar eclipse. Really quite beautiful to see. So when the moon is in the shadow of the earth, it turns a beautiful coppery red colour. And what's causing that is as the sun's light passes through the earth's atmosphere, it becomes scattered and loses predominantly a lot of the blue light. As the light reaches the lunar surface, it's predominantly red, and that creates that beautiful red coppery colour. So they call that Rayleigh scattering. So Rayleigh scattering is also how we get our beautiful red sunsets. What do you reckon? Come here. So that's my quick stargazing forecast for you. The total lunar eclipse on November the 8th. And in the feature race, I came second. Yay! So that was pretty cool. It's always pretty hard to do well at our club. We've got some amazing drivers. So I was pretty lucky. There was a few that didn't quite make the feature. So that probably helped my cause. But I'm going to own it. But until next time, keep looking at the stars, enjoy our beautiful night skies. We're very lucky in Western Australia. Remember, I'm not an expert, and you don't need to be an expert to just learn a little bit about stargazing and enjoy our beautiful skies. So have fun, look out for the total lunar eclipse, and I'll catch you next time.
can hear a whisper.